Hello and welcome, F5 community. Today is October 16th, 2024, and I am Aubrey King from DevCentral. Today happens to be our quarterly security notification. So F5 adheres to a quarterly security notification practice instead of releasing ad hoc CVEs in an effort to reduce the downtime and minimize any customer outages that might occur as a result of dealing with some of these issues. So today I've got Megazone from F5's security incident response team with me, and he's going to talk to you about the QBR, or the QSN. Morning, how you doing, Megazone?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. It's acronyms on a day. So
too many TLAs.
Yes, that's true. So I guess this is what we've got, and I'm very curious to hear how this is going to be.
Okay. All right. Well, I see you sharing the slides there, so I'll jump in. So we're talking about today's quarterly security notification. Don't have a lot to disclose today. We're only disclosing 2 issues in today's QSN. Things went live this morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, a couple hours ago. One of the 2 issues was reported to F5 by an external researcher. There are no critical CVEs being disclosed today. The only 2 products impacted are classic Big IP, the Big IP TMOS, and Big IQ. There's no other impact to any of our other products or services at F5. And our next QSN is scheduled for February 5th, 2025. So breaking the issues down, again, pretty simple. We have 1 high and 1 medium. And again, they only affect Big IP and Big IQ. Both of these issues are on the control plane. There's no data plane impact. The minimum versions you should be on to have the fixes for these issues. If you're on Big IP, you want to be on 17.1.1.4, 16.1.5, 15.1.10.5. Those versions are anything later on those branches. And on Big IQ, you want 8.2.0.1 or 8.3.0. And looking at the issues specifics, the first one is the high. It's a 7.2 that affects Big IP control plane. This is the one that was reported to us by an external researcher. This requires an authenticated attacker to actually, I should say install, run, more like deploy a malicious monitor, create one, leading to a privilege escalation or config modification. So someone with manager level access or higher could then use a monitor. They can create a monitor with that access, and that monitor could then be used to bootstrap them to a higher level of privilege or just directly make system modifications. There is no specific mitigation for this issue other than installing the fix. Other than because this is an authenticated attacker, it's someone who is trusted with credentials for the system, or your credentials have leaked, which is itself a bigger problem. Big IQ, it's also a control plane. This one's CVSS 6.8, it's a medium. This again is an authenticated attacker. And this time it's an XSS using stored JavaScript. So one user could leave the XSS in a field, and then when the victim basically visits the same page in the system GUI, the XSS executes, classic XSS cross-site scripting. The same thing. There's no specific mitigation other than installing the fix. But again, authenticated attacker. This is someone who has credentials to the system to be able to conduct this attack. So they're both authenticated, which greatly limits the attack surface there. We have started adding CVSS 4 scores to our publications when we disclose things. We're in the middle of developing experience using CVSS 4 before we transition to it. So the scores for this, we have 7.2 high in CVSS 3.1. It's an 8.6 high in 4. And then this can happen in 4. It's less common than the bump up in score, but it can drop down a bit. So the 6.8 medium in 3.1 for the Big IQ is a 4.8 medium in 4.0. And that's all we have for information this time around. There's only 2 issues to talk about, so not very extensive.
No, I guess those are maybe the best ones that we have, right? Just when it's a couple things, there's no criticals, and I mean, nothing really is on fire. Is that, I guess, how you would typify this one, Megazone?
Yeah, we're not expecting much from this. Like both of these, there's no remote attack possible with these. Again, they require authentication, so somebody already has to have credentials to your systems for both of these. And if that's already the case, you probably have other issues to deal with. This would basically mainly insider threat, right? Someone who's got credentials legitimately, but is acting maliciously for some reason. And so hopefully, that's not too big of a concern if you're trusting somebody with access to this type of a system. Other than that, yeah, they're fairly basic attacks, fairly basic vulnerabilities. And we're not expecting a great deal of outcry over these or a real customer impact from these. Obviously, they are vulnerabilities, and when people have the chance to update to a fixed version, we strongly recommend they do so. But this isn't something where you have to worry about, is my system on the internet? Even if you should never do this, but even if your administrative interface was exposed to the internet, you'd still need the credentials. So this isn't like a control plane attack where it's a remotely exploitable without any prerequisites. So it's a fairly low attack surface, fairly small attack surface.
Yeah, it would appear that way to me as well. Also, typically if you're not looking at the banner by chance, please feel free to add any questions in the chat. But we have received absolutely no questions so far. I shouldn't say, no. Oh, we do have a question. So
okay.
we did just get one now. So does this issue happen with a user that is authenticated as guest? I thought you had said it had to be manager or better. Was that correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Although that is an excellent question. So no guest issues. Okay. That's a good question. Not seeing any more out there. This may be one of the shortest quarterly security notifications we've ever done. So, and
this is actually definitely the lightest QSN we've had. We've never had only 2 issues. There's always been a few more than that every quarter. It's just how, for those who understand the QSN's work, is we're disclosing things that have been fixed in every affected product since the last QSN, and just the way the QSN schedule lined up with the release schedules and different shifts that happen in releases. These were the 2 issues that were in a state where we felt we could disclose them without putting somebody in jeopardy. So the fixes are available.
Okay. Well, then that, I guess, if there really are no other questions out there in the community, then I am going to bring it up again. Our next quarterly security notification will be February 5th, 2025, after the new year. So that's spectacular. And then I guess hopefully we won't have any sort of out of band notification between now and then, knock on wood. But
hopefully February is the next time we have to do this.
Right. But I know that if we do, you're definitely going to be here for us. So I guess with that, thank you very much for your time today, Megazone. It's always really appreciated. And thank you, community, for tuning in to our quarterly security notification for October 16th. We'll see you again in February and out there in the community.
Well, thanks for checking out that video. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. While you're down there, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. You might want to check out one of these videos over here. And if you haven't already, go check out community.f5.com. This is where all the DevCentral Connects hosts hang out, as well as the rest of the community. It's free to sign up, and we'll see you there.